rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. Rumble Studios acting weird today, so I had to approach Rumble a little bit differently to get it to go. So hopefully you guys are able to see. I think that's what's happening here. Let me see if it's, yeah, I can see myself. So that's in the Rumble stream. So, yeah, I had to attack it from a different direction to get it to actually play, which is fine. Yeah, I'm at the margarita bar or the pina colada bar or whatever kind of bar you want to talk about. You know, it's tropical. It needed it to be tropical. I needed it to be tropical because it's hot. It's hot up here. Oh my gosh. We are in the, like the mid to high 80s. I know that's nothing to some of you folks. You're like, yeah, 80s. Yeah, that's like a walk in the park. Well, yeah, up here in the Pacific Northwest, that's hot. Yeah, we'll see how long the computer actually hangs on. I'm doing a couple of things to try and keep it cooler because it's so hot, but we'll have to see. Anyway. Yeah, I know. Hi is there? Yeah, there we go. Anyway, all right, folks, let's go ahead and get things kicked off while we still can. So, let's see. Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance is, of course, coming in from Coco, Cam, and Sean, and I haven't seen Coco in the chat yet. So, but anyway, Coco, Cam, and Sean. Yeah, I know. We don't have air conditioning up here, Amy. We just don't, because we usually don't see these kinds of temps. Anyway, Coco, Cam, and Sean are up for tonight's pledge. So if you are of mine, please stand, remove your hats, if you're wearing one like me, and place your hand over your heart and follow along with Coco, Cam, and, of course, the wonderful Sean as they recite the Pledge of Allegiance. No.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and of course I thank you, Coco, Cam, and Sean, for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting or performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file it is, and send it off to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. And tonight's headline sponsor is the Institute on the Constitution. The Institute on the Constitution was established in 2004 as a 501c3 nonprofit with one singular mission, and that is to restore the constitutional republic through grassroots education. All courses and materials are developed using primary source documents and taught from the American view of law and government as defined in the Declaration of Independence in the following three key points. 1, there is a God. 2, our rights come from him. And 3, the purpose of civil government is to secure and protect our God-given rights. The IOTC offers the opportunity to educate yourself on our most precious founding document, the Constitution of the United States. They also provide tools to educate your community and get involved with local government. Start by taking their free U.S. Constitution course and go from there. Use my affiliate link, iotc.americanperspective.online, to sign up, and while you are there, take a moment to look through their other course material and information. My affiliate link, once again, is iotc.americanperspective.online. to get great content to learn about our historical founding and support the show in the process. That's IOTC.AmericanPerspective.online, or if you just want to purchase this fabulous Saddleback leather-bound U.S. Constitution to support the show, go to Constitution.AmericanPerspective.online. Take a look at this wonderful product. It's got 1/8 of an inch of Saddleback leather wrapped around pages that are water and tear resistant, and no cheap binding glue here. This is stitched all the way through the leather and the pages contained within. It's got a 100-year warranty. 100-year warranty against materials and manufacturing defects, such that if there is a problem, you can send it back to the manufacturer and they will either fix it or replace it for free. My Rumble Whiskey Warrior P1s all say it has sexy rounded corners. And Buddy suggests that you find a new American and bless them with a gift called the U.S. Constitution. It is Buddy tested, Buddy approved, Billy tasted, Billy approved. My youngest Whiskey Warrior has confirmed that the information contained within will help you to study for and pass your civics badge in scouting, as well as your civics exam if they still have those. Go to constitution.americanperspective.online and order yours today. Don't forget to check out the rest of the Institute on the Constitution's offerings, as they do a fantastic job with all of their books and information. Go and check them out today. All right. Well, speaking of gifting a new American the Constitution, apparently it's now become, well, I mean, some have already done it. We already know about Rosie taking off and going to Italy, and Ellen DeGeneres went off with her girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever kind of friend it was, I don't know, but took off and went and bought some land in England and ended up getting flooded out before she even got totally moved in. I'm not laughing because of that. I mean, that's just a sad situation. You know, you buy a house and then it gets flooded. But it's just seems a little, shall we say, apropos for that kind of. Mrs. Whiskey just yelled at me, karma's a bitch. Anyway, Jimmy Kimmel. That's right, the late night host, talk show host that, tries to do comedy every once in a while. Well, Jimmy Kimmel reveals that he has received Italian citizenship. Now, the reason why, he says, it's because of the fact that he needs to, in case he needs to escape Trump. Yeah, in case he needs, I don't know of anybody that really would, why would you even think that you need to escape Trump? Trump is the most constitutional president that we've had of the last three. He's definitely up there in terms of his adherence to the law. Now, granted, you can't say that he doesn't, use the law to his advantage, which is fine. Just about everybody should. But he is not crossing the law. And anyway, so Kimmel revealed that he is Italian citizenship and insinuated a potential move to Europe to escape President Trump's unbelievable second term. You know what, buddy? Not Buddy as in Buddy Weiser, because I wouldn't be saying this to Buddy, but Kimmel. Go. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, and do all of us a favor and drop your passport off as you walk out the American side of the trip. That way you can't come back. Simple as that. If you hate this country enough that you want to go and get another citizenship, well, you should renounce the one that you have here. Go. I mean, I don't care. That's fine. Go. Be an Italian citizen. Go somewhere else. I'm kind of interested, though, to figure out how much did he pay for that Italian citizenship. But anyway, yeah, he needs to go. He just needs to go. And anyway, yeah. So whatever. By the way, take Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert with you. Don't forget Howard Stern, too. All three of you should just go and don't come back. Well, not that we didn't already know Adam Shifty Schiff was bad enough, but, with all of his Russia hoax and all these other things that have been going on, well, now a whistleblower has stepped forward. A whistleblower has stepped forward and is now saying what we all pretty much knew. We all pretty much knew this. This in, as soon as I can get it on the screen here. Where is it? There it is. This in the Daily Wire. Adam Schiff apparently directed the release of classified info to target Trump. Now, honestly, I mean, he's already under investigation, a very credible investigation for his mortgage fraud. But this, if this turns out to be true, this could be a serious violation of national security for this. The whistleblower claimed that the info was released in order to try and influence public opinion. Well, that's what all the Democrats do, is they all try to influence public opinion about everything. Well, apparently a whistleblower who worked for the Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee told the FBI that Schiff had pushed for the leaking of classified documents in a meeting after Trump's election in 2016, according to a summary of the interview that was obtained by Just the News. Schiff, of course, was a major proponent of the discredited narrative that Trump schemed with the Russians to get elected in 2016. The whistleblower claimed that Schiff orchestrated a plan to hurt Trump by leaking classified documents, according to the interview. The memo stated in this meeting, the FBI memo, stated in this meeting, Schiff stated the group would leak classified information which was derogatory to the President of the United States. Schiff stated the information would be used to indict President Trump. They redacted the name of the person, but then they say stated this would be illegal, and upon hearing his concerns, unnamed members of the meeting reassured that individual that they would not be caught leaking classified information. So the whistleblower, of course, is believed that this leaking would be unethical, illegal, and treasonous. Yes, all three are true in this particular scenario and case. Anyway, the interview documents were declassified by Kash Patel. He said, "We found it, we declassified it. Now Congress can see how classified info was leaked to shape the political narratives and decide if our institutions were weaponized against the American people." Well, I don't think they did much of a decision there. We know it was. So over the course of several years, the whistleblower conducted multiple interviews with the FBI, which were then summarized by the agent who conducted the interviews in a series of memos. So, there you go. In one August 2017 interview, the whistleblower said that Democrats on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence believed that they could bring down Trump with document leaks to the media. Yeah, they were wrong about that. Have you noticed the Democrats have been wrong about a whole bunch of stuff? Anyway, Schiff really did believe, well, that's because he's a moron, really did believe that Russia hijacked the election and that the United States was in the middle of a constitutional crisis. Yeah, Schiff is in the middle of a constitutional crisis every time he goes to the bathroom in the morning. Anyway, classified information began leaking to the media. Democrat minority leadership of the HPSCI was aware of the leaks, but was under the impression that leaking the information was one way to topple the administration and fix the constitutional crisis, according to the whistleblower. Yeah, Yeah. Oh, so now we have apparently in another interview on December 5th of 2017, the whistleblower reportedly said that Schiff was particularly upset, that's in quotes, after the election of Trump because he believed that Hillary would have appointed him CIA director. Folks, Schiff needs to just get, he needs to have his classified, what do you call that? His security clearance revoked, and he needs to just go. So that's it. He just needs to go. Anyway. The whistleblower claimed that Schiff told staff to gather information about Trump and Russia that would be made public through the media in order to compel public opinion. I mean, I could continue. This article goes on. There's like several other things that are showing up. But, oh, by the way, the whistleblower also suspected that, Chinese spy sleeping with Mr. or Mrs. Fang Fang. Well, I say Mrs., but it's Miss Fang Fang, Eric Swalwell, played a role in the leak and noted that Swalwell had previously been warned to be careful because he had a reputation for leaking classified information. Yeah, okay, so then you wonder what the pillow talk was like for Fang Fang. Yeah, I'm sure she enjoyed that pillow talk. Maybe not so much the act that got her to the pillow talk. Because, I mean, let's face it, flatulent Swalwell probably blew a few under the sheets, but, anyway. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, these people. So here we are. This is where all of this, we're starting to get all this stuff out. And once again, the Democrats trying to, manipulate the public opinion. I mean, you talk about Democrats are into propaganda. That's what they are. They don't care about truth. They don't care about the individual people that they are, supposed to care about or any of that stuff. All they care about is hanging on to money and power. That's it. Which is part of the reason why they are complaining so damn much about this whole thing with the federalization of the D.C. police. Done legally, by the way, under Section 470 of the Home Rule Act, which was voted on and approved by Congress a long time ago. Well, we now have some new information. So you remember when I released this last episode, and I talked to you about the Home Rule and taking over the federalization of the D.C. police. I told you that Hillary Clinton was saying, oh, no. Crime's been down. Crime has dropped. Crime's been down. Well, now, 24 hours later, we now get the truth. Here's the truth. The truth is that there was a D.C. police commander who was suspended and is now accused, or was accused at the time, of changing crime statistics. This coming out of Channel 4 NBC in Washington, D.C. itself. The Metropolitan Police Department confirmed this commander was placed on administrative leave in mid-May. It happened just a week after he had filed an equal opportunity employment complaint against an assistant chief, and the police union accused the department of deliberately falsifying crime data, according to 3 separate law enforcement sources familiar with the complaint. The union claims police supervisors in the department manipulate crime data to make it appear violent crime has fallen considerably compared to the previous year. The former commander of the 3rd District that patrols Adams, Morgan, and Columbia Heights was placed on leave with pay and told he was under investigation for questionable changes to crime data. 5 law enforcement sources familiar with the investigation told the NBC News outlet. Yeah, so they are changing the crime data to make things look like it's not that bad. Well, it's not just that article. An ABC news anchor, so this is a competing network. An ABC news anchor says that she was jumped and her coworker's car was stolen. ABC news anchor Kira Phillips said yesterday that she was assaulted just blocks from the network's Washington, D.C. bureau within the last 2 years, adding to the concerns over public safety in the nation's capital, despite the official reports of declining violent crime. Phillips shared her experience during a live broadcast, referencing multiple recent crimes in close proximity to ABC's offices. She says, "We've been talking so much about the numbers, and yeah, usually that's how you play devil's advocate, is you talk about, oh, well, the crime, the stats say crime is down," she said. "However, I can tell you firsthand here in downtown D.C., where we work, right here around our bureau, in just the past 6 months, there were 2 people shot, 1 person died, literally 2 blocks down here from the bureau." Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. She continued and said, "It was within the last 2 years that I was actually jumped, walking just 2 blocks down from here. And then just this morning, one of my coworkers said her car was stolen a block away from the bureau. So we can talk about the numbers going down, but crime is happening every single day because we're all experiencing it firsthand while working and living down here." You gotta wonder where these Democrats that, they keep sitting here and they try to tell you that, oh yeah, life is roses and everything is, here's your rosy sunglasses, put them on. They're nice. Everything's nice and pink. It's nice and rosy around here. Yeah, right. Sure it is. Anyway, even Axios, an Axios reporter, jumped in and slammed the tone-deaf crime claims in D.C. So here's a guy by the name of Alex Thorpe. And let's just go ahead and bring this up and listen to this.
What's striking is that National Democrats are not following Mayor Bowser's lead on this, and that National Democrats have been insisting, just look at the statistics. We have 30-year low, violent crime, whereas Mayor Bowser is talking about, hey, we need to get 500 more police officers on the streets. We'd like the federal government to help us rebuild our jail. She's talking about some of the reforms she did to make it so accused violent offenders don't get out of jail pre-trial. So there is this disconnect, and I've talked to Democratic strategists today that think that, National Democrats saying, look at the statistics is sort of a tone-deaf way to react.
And it's very much, isn't this the exact same problem that Democrats had last year? Look at the statistics. We promise you the economy is great, while people are going, it doesn't feel great to me. That feels like a lot of this conversation around crime, that you can point to statistics all day long that say, hey, D.C. is safer this year than it was last year. But do people feel safe? Bottom line, if they don't, they may be more okay with something that would otherwise be considered extraordinary.
And that is your answer. That is your answer. Oh my gosh. Folks, when I talk about an 80-20 issue, 80-20 issues are basically where 80% of the populace are behind it. For an example, deporting illegal aliens. 80% of the population support it. Leaving the kids alone and not trying to gender transition them. That's 80% of the population that agrees with that. All of this stuff that you're seeing Trump is doing what Trump needs to be doing in order to be successful and to be considered one of the most successful presidents that we have ever had. He's hitting the 80-20 points. The economy is one. Crime is one. The illegal immigration is one. All of these things Okay? All of them are 80-20 issues. And Trump, having what Harry Enton calls one of the best and most savvy political understandings, I'm paraphrasing, of course, that he's ever seen, that's why. He is taking care of the 80-20 stuff. And he's ignoring the rest of it. He's ignoring the stuff like the Epstein files and everything else. He's ignoring all of that, which, again, the Democrats all thought that the Epstein files were going to be a big hit toward Trump. See, they don't seem to understand that the Epstein files have already been out in the open. Everything about the Epstein files that we know about is out in the open. It's in the public sphere, and not one single thing has been able to attach itself to Trump when it comes to anything other than what we already know. Trump flying in between New York and Florida. Trump knew the guy. Went to public parties and stuff like that where he was there. Invited him to Mar-a-Lago. And kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. And testified at the first Florida trial of Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. Well, back on D.C., it's bad when even the police union talks about this. The police union says immediate action is necessary because the police union actually went through and started digging into those crime statistics. And this is part of the reason why they figured out that that commander was fudging the numbers, is because of this. But the D.C. police union said in a statement on Monday that it agrees with President Trump, quote, that crime is spiraling out of control and immediate action is necessary to restore public safety. This according to Fox 5. The union's positive statement toward Trump was released as Democrat D.C. leaders criticized the administration's move to take control of the police department. These same D.C. Democrat leaders include Hakeem Jeffries, and Spartacus himself, Cory Booker. They both posted videos and stuff on social saying, no, Trump's doing this for a political move. No, he's doing it because of the fact that people like the D.C. Police Union, which represents over 3,000 officers of the Metropolitan Police Department today, this is their statement, today acknowledges and supports the president's announcement this morning to assume temporary control of MPD in response to the escalating crime crisis in Washington, D.C. The union agrees that crime is spiraling out of control and immediate action is necessary to restore public safety. However, we emphasize the federal intervention must be a temporary measure with the ultimate goal of empowering a fully staffed and supported MPD to protect our city effectively. Yeah. So, even Mayor Muriel Bowser blasted the president's move as unsettling and unprecedented. That's because she's a failure. Anyway. The Democrat-controlled D.C. City Council also released a statement calling Trump's action a manufactured intrusion on local authority. Yeah. Yet, then they of course pointed to the statistics. They're like, violent crime in D.C. is at its lowest rates we've seen in 30 years. Well, in reality, it's higher than even Bogota, Colombia. I mean, yeah. So Bowser, of course, did acknowledge that Section 740 of the D.C. Home Rule Act allows Trump to federalize the local law enforcement in D.C., and she did vow to coordinate with the federal government. So there's at least that. So, yeah. Anyway. Well, one person who was directly affected by the D.C. crime. Remember that congressional intern that got killed in the drive-by shooting? I mentioned it yesterday. Well, the mother of the congressional intern, backed Trump. She backs his move. She believes that the move will help prevent other families from experiencing the same loss that she did. You know, Democrats, I'm just going to, and leftist lunatics, when you all sit out there and you all talk about all these wonderful things and everything else, you put plugs in your ears, you put your fingers in your ears, and you act like a child, saying, no, 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 I don't hear anything. I don't, yeah, 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 yeah. When in reality, the American people have been screaming clearly for you guys and the Republicans both to get together and start handling these 80-20 issues. Okay? That's your job. Your jobs are supposed to work together to and for the betterment of the individuals. The individuals that are your constituents. These people, the people of the United States, want action. We want action on some of these things. Don't you? I mean, do you not seem to understand that all of your Democrat policies, where you go soft on crime and you go soft on all these other things, that you look for acquiescence and appeasement? You don't do what needs to be done, which is to knock these people into next week such that they don't either stand back up or they freaking realize the error of their ways and they repent and redo. And if they can't, they end up being locked away somewhere where they can't harm anyone. That's how you handle crime. It's not this, touchy-feely stuff. No, you don't do that. Well, apparently, Democrat mayors across the country are all trying to band together because, I mean, let's face it, just about I don't even know of any, I still am waiting for somebody to tell me where there's a major city that doesn't have a Democrat in charge. But Democrat mayors, according to Newsmax, all claim that there's no need for the Fed to take over D.C. Yeah. Sure. The Democrat Mayors Association says President Donald Trump was not justified in ordering the federal management of the Washington, D.C. Police Department. The DMA released a statement claiming it's responsible for improving crime rates in the country. Because let's be clear, crime is down in most major cities, include Washington, D.C., in spite of Donald Trump, not because of him. While there is still more work to be done, mayors need a federal partner who works with them, not against them. Okay, hey, DMA, I got a question for you. Okay? Your Democratic Mayors Association. I got a question for you. Why then, if you guys are responsible for bringing down crime, why aren't you working with ICE to get rid of illegal aliens? Why are you claiming to be sanctuary cities for these people? Why is it that you are allowing these people to essentially take over in your cities? Why is the most violent crime occurring in the metropolitan centers of our country, such as New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Baltimore? Hey, Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, right outside of D.C. What do you guys think? Yeah. Cleveland Democrat Mayor Justin Bibb said that the mayors contend that Trump is not helping the nation. If Trump actually cared about reducing crime, he wouldn't have made unprecedented cuts to public safety programs that actually work. Yeah, public safety programs that don't work, you mean, because they haven't worked. He goes, if Trump actually cared about our communities, he'd be working to protect them, not vilifying them. No, he's working to protect them right now. Yeah, he's not vilifying them. I mean, other than the criminals who should be vilified. He's working to protect them. Democrat mayors also say that the Trump administration is blowing smoke, saying that the truth is that Trump doesn't care. He only wants to create yet another political charade to serve his own interests and distract Americans from his failures. What failures? It's just like I told multiple people on the social medias. Every time they say, oh, this administration has done so many unconstitutional things, I can list them. There's hundreds of them. All I do is ask for one. I have yet to have anybody tell me one single unconstitutional act that this president has done, that this administration has done. Name it. Tell me where in the Constitution that item exists. Yeah. I'm looking over the chat. I'm a Texan over on X. Brings up a really good point here. He says, if the Dem mayors cared about their communities, they would not have cut the Leo budgets. Oh, yeah, I remember that. No, I remember that. And as Squishy over on Rumble points out, all the cities in Ohio, Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, and Dayton are all blue with the exception of the rest of it being red. That's typical. That's actually typical of everywhere. Even in what you guys would consider blue, California, Oregon, and Washington, that is exactly the same kind of scenario. All the rural areas are red or at worst purple, but all the urban centers are all blue. It must be something in the water that they put in that makes things happen like that. Anyway. Yeah, what a mess. Total mess. Well, they can keep claiming it. They can keep claiming it. All right. Oh, goodness. All right, well, let me take a quick break. I'll go ahead and tell you and talk to you about this wonderful shirt that I'm wearing. Yes. Here we go. See it? There it is. It's my logoed shirt. This is just one of many. And you can go and check it out. You can go to the American Perspective store. Go to store.americanperspective.online. That's store.americanperspective.online and get great American Perspective logo gear. Shirts, T-shirts. Well, shirts and T-shirts are basically the same. But T-shirts, hoodies, crew neck sweatshirts, as well as tank tops. I have links to get you to the wonderful Constitution of the United States that I told you about earlier. You can go there. You can also go and check out. There's some cups and mugs and water bottles that have one version of my logo on them. But go and check it out today. Go to store.americanperspective.online. That's store.americanperspective.online. And you'll be able to check out all of the offerings that I have. The great quality shirts. They don't shrink. Well, I mean, I haven't had mine shrink. They are good quality, and the logo doesn't fade as you wash it, according to a few of my Whiskey Warrior P1s that are out there. And also, too, for your long-time folks, as far as I'm still aware, because I haven't checked lately, but as long as I'm still aware, the Whiskey Musings store, which is what this show used to be, the Whiskey Musings store is still up and operational. You'd have to let me know if it's not, but I believe it is. So anyway, go to store.americanperspective.online and go and check out all of my wonderful offerings. So, 3 Chevy. Oh, I love Three Chevy. Three Chevy's the comic of the group. He says, shirts don't shrink, but I expanded. Anyway. So yeah, go and check it out. store.americanperspective.online. And I appreciate your business. Yeah, Bam, that's actually a good thing. I don't put mine in the dryer. Yeah, neither does my wife, Mrs. Whiskey. She doesn't put our stuff that she doesn't want to shrink in the dryer. So she'll air dry it or hang it up and let it dry. All right. Well, have you? Well, let me just go. And I would say show of hands if I was in front of a live studio audience, but obviously I can't do that. But how many of you that are out in the audience and in the chats right now, how many of you spent time reading to your kids before bedtime? Like giving them a bedtime story. And I can tell you that my mom was a big proponent in reading. And in fact, she read to me at night, and then she also sorry, the chat went nuts here. Oh, wrong one. Ha ha ha. Chat went nuts. There we go. The chat went crazy. They're talking about something. Anyway. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. You guys are kicking the pants. Seriously, guys, if you are not over or don't have a Rumble account, you got to get one. The chat over on the Rumble channel is just it's lively like it is every night. But anyway. All right, let's get back on track here. Apparently, according to this University of Warwick professor, now granted, this is in England, okay, but according to a professor at the University of Warwick, parents who read to their kids should think about, listen to this, should think about how they're, quote, unfairly disadvantaging other people's children. Yes. Unfairly disadvantaging other people's children. You know, you listen to that and you wonder why I sit here and I say that education does not actually equal intelligence. That education, you can be a PhD and you can be a completely stupid moron. Just saying. But this individual was on an interview with ABC Radio. He's a philosopher and a professor. His name's Adam Swift. And he said that since bedtime stories activities do indeed foster and produce desired familial relationship goods, he wouldn't want to ban them. But that parents who engage in bedtime stories activities should definitely at least feel kind of bad about it sometimes. No, Bonnie, it's Adam Swift, as in Taylor Swift. Whoa, wait, what? This guy's a professor, folks. He's a professor at the University of Warwick in England. And he's basically saying that if you read to your kids at night, you're essentially making it to where it's a disadvantage for others who don't get read to at night. And that you should really feel bad about trying to give your children a leg up. What? What kind of bullshit is this? I'm sorry, but you know, my mom read to me. And once I was old enough to start reading for myself, I actually would read to myself at night. Granted, the material changed depending upon my age. But yeah, there were many times that I would go to bed at like 9 o'clock and actually not get to sleep until 1 o'clock in the morning because I was reading the entire time. Now, I'm not as much of a voracious reader as what I used to be, but I definitely occasionally sit down and do some reading. I mean, I read pretty much every time for all of this, prep for the show. And I read a lot in my regular job and all these other things. Reading is fundamental. You guys remember that? Remember those ads? But oh my gosh, what the hell? Oh yeah, you should feel guilty. You should really if I could do an English accent, like a good English accent, I would do it. But you should feel guilty about reading to your kids at night. Really? Really? I should feel guilty about that. I don't think so, Scooter. Oh my gosh. Well, he continues also too. He's like, he added some of these other things that parents do to give their kids the best education possible, like, quote, sending them to an elite private school cannot be justified. Really? He said, private schooling cannot be justified by appeal to these familial relationship goods. Sounds to me like this guy has it in for the family unit and everything, of course, that makes civil society actually run, like the family unit. There are clear studies that demonstrate that children who are raised without a father have higher likelihoods of things like not finishing high school, like being a criminal, and even worse than that, becoming a mass shooter. So you're sitting here and you're trying to tell me that everything that is good, right, and proper in our Western society, focusing on the family, focusing on your children, trying to give them the best raising that you can, the best leg up that you can. In fact, there's several indicators that indicate that if you can pass high school, not have kids before marriage, and get a job before marriage, if you can do those three things, you will not be impoverished or poor. I don't understand these people. Where do you get this idea that because, you read to your children that you should feel guilty because you're able to read to your children? Why? You're trying to set your child up for the best possible outcome. Isn't that exactly what parenting is supposed to be? You're supposed to set your child up for further success with the idea that they are going to become more successful than you were at the same age, that they are much more successful than you are. Now, granted, the definition of success varies from person to person. But the truth of the matter is that all parents, when you care about your kids, you try to do the best you can with what you have to give them a leg up. This is completely ridiculous, this guy, this PhD from the University of Warwick. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now, he continues, by the way, he says this, he's like, it's just not the case that in order for a family to realize these intimate, loving, authoritative, affectionate, love-based relationships, you need to be able to send your child to an elite private school. He added that we could prevent elite private schooling without any real hit to elite family relationships. So he's not only knocking the family unit, he's also knocking the fact that some people have the ability to send their kids off to elite private schools. I mean, here in America, we're attempting to try and get this taken care of with things like school vouchers to make it so that the tax dollars actually follow the children and not just go to the local school district. Well, that actually would be something really important. At one point, apparently, this guy even flirted during the interview, even flirted with the idea of, quote, simply abolishing the family as a way of solving the social justice problem. Because according to him, there would be a more level playing field. What? This guy is an out and out, that right there. I'm just telling you, the idea of simply abolishing the family, solving the social justice problem that way, creating a more level playing field, that is 100% socialism right there. That is Marxism 101 right there. And I know I keep using Marxism, socialism, Leninism, Stalinism. They're all in the same boat. Communism, all of them are in the same boat. In fact, it starts with Marxism, ends up in communism, and ends up dying out anyway. This guy, I'm telling you, and people listen to this moronic crap. I mean, well, at least he does recognize, of course, that it is in the child's best interest to be parented. You think? No kidding. It is in the child's best interest to be parented. No, I thought it was his best interest to just like plop the kid in front of the television and, you know, let them fend for themselves. No. He also pointed out that parenting a child makes for what we call a distinctive and special contribution to the flourishing and well-being of adults. Okay. Then why do you sit there and try to tear up the family unit? Why do you support the idea of welfare where such that the money that goes to a family or goes to a single parent is more than if you have like two parents in the household or something like that? I mean, seriously, come on, give me a freaking break. All of your crap is literally just that. It's total bullshit. It's total bullshit. And he calls out at the same time, you know, or well, the writer of the article calls out at the same time the tendency to believe that focusing on improving things for the less fortunate is a better way to advance our society than purposely making things worse for those who have more. Well, yeah. Why do you think welfare was so bad? I mean, people look at welfare and they think, oh, yeah, welfare is just this wonderful thing, and especially within, say, in America, the black community. The black community, prior to the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s, was one of the largest growing and expanding population here in the United States. They were gaining so much in terms of their social economic status and everything else that after the 1960s, and especially after Lyndon Johnson instituted welfare and basically made it a requirement that the father not be in the home in order for the mother to gain extra money from the government, it was all designed on purpose to break up the family unit and get them onto the government teat. That was the entire thing. It was the entire point of welfare. It wasn't to, provide a short-term leg up. No. the overall goal was to make it to where you ended up putting people, it doesn't even matter what skin color they are, but putting people onto the government dole, make them dependent on it, rather than giving them the tools and the instruction to be able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and make their presence much more, shall we say, beneficial for themselves. Yeah. These highly educated, read indoctrinated there, highly educated PhDs need to go back and understand that there's reasons why things have been happening for literally thousands of years. The nuclear family being one of them, the association of community and, taking humans and human people populating and living together to the common good of each other in things like villages and towns and so on and so forth, working toward a common goal, having common interests, common base foundational values and principles. There's reasons for all of that. And it's for the betterment of society as a whole when you can take advantage of all of those things. These people are ridiculous. And these same people also view religion in the same light, which is part of the reason why all of the religions, especially Christianity in particular, because, God forbid you go after anybody other. Well, the Jewish religion is the other one. The Jewish religion and the Christian religion. Those two are being persecuted today because of the fact that both are very focused on the family unit. Both are very focused on doing things and instilling your children with morals and values and standards and principles and all things that are good toward the betterment of the Western society. And yet, the Democrats in particular, the leftists for sure, and morons like this professor, they are all trying to tear all of that down in today's society. This is where this is where we are going wrong in terms of our society today, stepping away from the long-standing traditions and values and foundational prospects and issues of today's day and age that are central and key to the development and the continuation of our society. And they're walking away from it with the idea that government can become the mother or the father, that government can become the source of all things that are good. And government in and of itself is bad. It is a necessary evil. That's what our founding fathers always said. It is a necessary evil. It should be constrained. It should be given only the powers to which it is required. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And that was the principles behind the foundational Constitution of the United States. That was the idea. And that's why the Constitution has been able to survive for the 250 years almost that we've been here. So, people are ridiculous. Anyway, all right, folks, that is it for me for this evening. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, make sure you search up for the American Perspective channel. Hit that green follow button to get notified every time I go live. Don't forget, tomorrow night is Whiskey Wednesday. I hope that I will have a pet of the week. Haven't gotten one yet. It'd be nice to finish out tomorrow night with a pet of the week. That would be great. Ding, 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 ding. Pet of the week, pet of the week, pet of the week. You can submit that to fans@americanperspective.online. We will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Also, too, don't forget on your way out, hit those thumbs up or thumbs downs if you really want to, depending upon where you are, whether it's X, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, the aforementioned Rumble. Like I said, we will see you tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.